All right, very good. How do you do work with the state of New York? Very simple. The state of New York is obligated under finance laws to purchase things at the best value for the taxpayer. Simple as that. Now, the Office of General Services, the agency that I work for, provide contracts for all state agencies to utilize. Now, how do you become part of that contracting family? There are several types of contract that the state of New York has through OGS. We'll start with the one called an emergency contract. The state of New York has about 15 to 1,600 buildings throughout the state on which we have to service and keep and maintain. But everything you can think of, everything in your home, these buildings have to use also. To give you an idea of what an emergency contract is, if the roof blows off a building, that's an emergency. We have to call a contractor and have them there in a moment's notice to put the roof or cover the roof. That's an emergency contract. There are ways in which you can become part of that family. The other type of contract, an M contract. Right after the roof is put on, someone has to go back and fix the roof. That's called an M contract. And I will tell you how to become part of that family contractor. There's the other type of contract, which is called a centralized contract. This is the one that most of you are familiar with. If the state of New York needs anything, it turns to OGS and says, we need those widgets. Can you provide a contract for us to buy them, to purchase them? OGS then contact a number of businesses and ask, can you supply this item? At what price are you going to supply this item? Once you tell OGS your price, it is then noted, you are then registered, you're then qualified to provide that item to any state agency or municipalities throughout the state, towns, libraries, anything you can think of can now turn to that contract and purchase that widget from you at the numbers of which you provided OGS. That's called a centralized contract. There's another contract that is just now coming into being. It's called a backdrop contract. This is basically utilized by IT services type folks. I must warn you, you can be placed on that contract very easily if you go to the OGS website, and if any of these contracts I'm telling you about, you can find them on www.ogs.state.ny.us under procurement services when you go there, and they will list all the type of contracts that OGS have available. And you can also find there if what you have to provide, what you want to provide to the state is a need by the state. Now, the centralized the backdrop contract. You are listed on this contract. Once you qualify, you are listed on this backdrop contract to provide IT services to the state of New York and anyone else who is requesting it. There are 800 vendors on the backdrop contract for IT services when I checked last week. 800 vendors. What makes your company different from any other company? Well, I'm a purchasing agent and I live in Ogdensburg, New York, and I need to have a widget. And your company is listed at one of these 800 there. How do I know there's a difference between, what's the difference between you and the other company, the other 800 company, the other 799 companies? Well, the difference is you. You have to advertise your business. You have to find out who the purchasing agent is for all of the state agents, the municipalities, the libraries, and you get to know them. You get to know them real well, and they'll get to know you. Now, when they need your service, they will go to the OGS contract and look for your name. Instead of going to the 800 vendors listed there and picking three, randomly picking three, and calling them and getting what they need. Because the law only requires that they take three, and the lowest of the three bidders is what they have, what they can work with. So again, it's very, very important that once you're listed on the OGS contracts, that you advertise your business. And the first thing an agency will ask you is, are you on the OGS contract? You understand? Another way, once you are certified by the state of New York as a woman-owned business or a minority-owned business, you don't have to be certified, but I would suggest that you do become certified because the governor is pushing it hard. And he's saying to agencies like OGS, I need you to get your numbers of participation with MWBEs up. Right? So all these state agencies are looking for certified minority and women-owned businesses, and small businesses also. That's the rest of it, okay? So what I suggest that you would become certified. And once you are certified, you notify OGS and say, look, well, you go on the website, and there on the website there's a thing called a bidder notification. You registered for the bidder notification. And what that does is that every time a contract comes up that you qualified for, or it's asking for the item that you are providing, you get a bidder notification electronically. Can't be easier, but you have to take the first step, and the first step is to know what you provide, know where to find it, and go on and let yourself be known, and please advertise your company. I see it, I'm being told, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, so give good information there. Remember,